A very good evening and a warm welcome to Uctv News. Thank you for joining us yet again. I am Nora Sende to bring you the bulletin. It is a Friday, the 29th of November, 2024. We thank you for staying with us this far. We're starting off our newscast this evening with how Uganda is actually considering reviewing the taxation regime and encouraging its East African region counterparts to ensure affordability of digital services like smartphones and internet access. Now, its broader policy of digital transformation. Officiating at the closure of the Technical Assistance and Training of Uganda on the National ICT Development Strategy, that's the project of 2021-2024, held at Uganda Institute of Communications Technology. Well, Honorable Chris Baryomonsi unveiled their intention to extend affordable internet access and low-cost digital services in supplementing the project's pivotal role in actualizing the sustainable digital inclusion and economic growth in the country. In the spirit of bolstering Uganda's digital transformation agenda, the Uganda government and International Telecommunication Union collaborated on a joint project in 2001 to 2024 to enhance Uganda's ICT policy and regulatory landscape. The project aimed to foster a digital, inclusive, innovative, and empowered society. While stakeholders are celebrating achievements and significant contribution of the project at its closure, the ICT minister notes that more work is needed for countries in the global south to catch up with the Western world in digital transformation.
Say China and Asia, that context, and say compare with Africa and the other developing world, we still have the digital gap which is very visible. And therefore, supporting each other, learning from each other, partnerships, and these strengthened collaborations are extremely very important in order for us to bridge that gap.
Internet coverage in rural or remote areas. The challenge we are facing as a country today is getting connectivity to the last person. So one of these that we have piloted is to see how we can come up with innovative approaches of getting internet to these remote areas, because the private sector does not find business sense in getting to there, but as a country and government, we have to serve every Ugandan.
It's upon this ground that the Minister Baryomonsi pledged on behalf of the government to review the current taxation regime in a bid to cut the cost of internet services, digital devices like smartphones, in company with engaging to the East African region counterparts on the issue of having smartphones manufactured here.
We are also working at the East African region, the ICT ministers in the region. We are working together to attract investment into the region so that these phones, these digital devices can be manufactured or assembled within the region.
Dennis Mugwanya, Managing Director of Technology Solutions Africa Limited, stresses the urgent need for government to develop comprehensive artificial intelligence or AI strategy which will help mitigate the potential risks and negative implications associated with improper use of AI.
The nation has not developed a strategy of how they are going to deal with implications of AI. And so as a government, who are the leaders, they have to develop some guidelines to people who are operating in the country on how to use AI. And basically say, if we catch you using AI to generate pornographic material, we'll prosecute you according to this law. Or if you are using AI to hack into banking systems, you'll be prosecuted like this. So the government, number one, has to provide the boundaries of AI. Number two, they have to understand the importance of AI.
Meanwhile, the Permanent Secretary to the ICT Ministry, Dr. Amina Zawede, commended the project as she emphasized the great support exhumed in milestones it has conveyed to Uganda's digital transformation agenda.
The success of this project can be seen in capacity building and skills development. We have been able to train and empower over 5,000 individuals with digital skills, including 35% women, and 65% men, underscoring our commitment to inclusivity. We deserve a round of applause. And have equipped stakeholders with knowledge in critical areas like cybersecurity, big data, and emerging technologies.
The project, backed by the Global Development and South-South Cooperation Fund, has improved infrastructure, including broadband towers in undeserved areas like Karamoja and northern Uganda. This has led to 30% increase in rural internet penetration. Report compiled by Joseph Kabale for UCTV News. Now, Centenary Bank has launched a 50 billion fund that's to provide low-interest renewable energy loans aimed at advancing the green financing in Uganda. This initiative aligns with the government's target to eliminate the use of firewood and charcoal, a move expected to restore and protect the country's green environment. Speaking at the Green Innovation Finance Forum held at Nakasero in Kampala, Abdul Chanika Sivambi, the manager of housing and renewable energy business at Centenary Bank, highlighted that over 88% of Ugandans rely on firewood and charcoal for cooking, posing a significant threat to the environment.
At the Green Finance Forum here at Onomo Hotel, we have organized this forum to call around energy companies who are involved in installation of clean cooking solutions, solar and power connection, to give them our proposition as Centenary Bank, the kind of financing which are available for the supply chain, that is beginning with importers, distributors, wholesalers, retailers, and the end users. We have all those loan products. So we call them here to be able to promote these products to them so that they can use them wherever they are for their customers and also the energy companies themselves. These are low interest loans and they are meant to be promoted. So from here, we are going to go to wherever these companies are coming from to partner with them to do the promotions of the solutions themselves. So that is the importance of this forum today. At Centenary Bank, we now have around 9.6 billion portfolio for renewable energy, which we are promoting now. And we have around, this year we have given more than 1,000 loans for renewable energy, because this is part of our agenda, ESG agenda, to protect the environment. We all know the pollution which is going on, and this is part of Centenary Bank strategy to see how do we protect our environment.
Today we've been talking about green financing. And when we talk about green financing, we are looking at financing for technologies which are clean. In the current era, the 21st century, we are looking at transition to clean energy solutions. Of course, we have had energy transitions before, like the first energy transition, which happened in the 18th century, where we were transitioning from the use of biomass to the use of coal, which energy source has a higher energy content. Then in the 20th century, we had a transition from coal to oil and gas. Again, that is transitioning from an energy resource with a better energy content. Currently, we have already polluted the environment, and we are saying no, we need to transition to clean energy. And the common talk is the clean energy, the net zero effect. So we want to transition to net zero. But as we transition to net zero, the issue is how do we reach there? We've had the financing institutions say financing is available, but is it enough to have financing? We are saying no. It's a very long journey, and it requires collaboration with every stakeholder, including the consumer, including the suppliers of technologies, including the research institutions, including even development partners, some of which give us some money to do development work. Therefore, in such engagements, we sit together to come up with better solutions, collaborative solutions, which help the final consumer.
The Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Water and Environment, Alfred Okoth Okidi, has urged members of the public to take personal responsibility in protecting the environment that's against degradation, since the local authorities are in short of enforcement manpower. Okidi made the remarks in response to the accusation of selective implementation of the environmental laws, which allows influential people to flaunt the laws while low-profile citizens are penalized.
But again, really, it is upon us as citizens not to wait for the enforcement people to know that this is wrong to do. The responsibility actually is with us. Each one of us in this country, we should be the force protecting the environment. Because without this environment, we cannot and will not exist in this country.
I also appeal to our leaders, and more especially our frontline officers, the RDCs, wherever you are. Please mobilize our other local leaders there, the local governments, and show and tell the citizens that these projects are in existence in those local authorities.
I think it should be what activities are allowed in some wetlands, because there are wetlands where no activity is allowed at all. And those ones are called fully protected wetlands. And they are not allowed because of the functions which they perform. A wetland like Nachivubu, which actually filters all the waste from Kampala before water enters Lake Victoria, no activity should be allowed. I know journalists are going to ask, but there are some structures there. I think PS indicated sometime back in 1960s, Kampala wetlands were gazetted as industrial areas, including Nachivubu. Now, we have been trying to evict those people in Nachivubu, but when you go there, a person has a running lease. Now, you touch him, he runs to court. You get it, and it is very expensive. So, but the strategy we have now is that when the lease expires, we are working now with Ministry of Lands, it is not renewed.
Now, as Uganda prepares to join the rest of the world in commemorating the World AIDS Day, that's on Sunday, the Minister for Health, General Ruth Acheng, has expressed confidence in the country's ability to achieve the 2030 target of eliminating HIV/AIDS infections. Now, while presenting the ministry's performance report, that's of 2021-2026 manifesto, commitments and strategic guidelines, Dr. Acheng highlighted Uganda's significant progress, including a 95% antiretroviral therapy, or ART, coverage, which reflects substantial strides towards realizing the vision.
To achieve the 95-95-95 targets for HIV elimination by 2030. Our ART coverage is at 98%. We have 1,403,603 people who are on treatment out of the 1,433,337 people living with HIV/AIDS. Our coverage increased from 91% in 2020 to the current 98%. So for ART coverage, we are above the 95 target. The percentage of HIV-exposed infants with the first DNA PCR test, those who have tested positive, within 2 months, increased to 91%. That is 64,108 out of 70,666 exposed infants, from 71% in financial year 2020-2021. We take note that HIV infection rate is rising, especially among young girls 14 to 24 years. Retention on ART declined to 77% from 83% in financial year 21-22 But let me state here that we are also carrying out a new population impact assessment that will give us the current correct figures.
We wish you a lovely weekend ahead from the entire team and I. Do have yourself a lovely weekend. I am Nora Sende.